Hello YouTube, this is Hunter Surge here with some Dragoborne content. Sorry, it's not Buddy Fight content. I know I've been gone for like a month. Stuff is coming, but for now, I'm really excited about Bushiroad's upcoming game, Dragoborne, which has now had just finished up its third week of Cards of the Day, and thus us actually getting cards revealed. And I decided I want to start up some content for this game. So I gathered up a couple other people who are looking to do content for this game, and we're gonna do a little podcast about it every week. So introduce yourselves, sirs. Scott, you want to go first?
I was
Sure.
about to say, do we have an order for this or not?
So figured out an order. That would require being competent. No. Okay, Scott.
Why would we plan things ahead?
Yeah. All right. Scott, go.
All right, guys. I'm Cy Scott, owner of Dragoracle.com, and that's about it.
So that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Okay. And as for me, I'm the Night Shadow, lead blog writer at Climax Phase. Is there anything else to say about that, really?
No, he's been doing Card of the Day articles every day. Go check them out. I'll have a link in the description. So, yeah, we were going to have one other person here with us, but he did not show. So it's just going to be the three of us this week. I'm also considering bringing on Spec. I'll think about that over the course of the next week. But regardless, we are going to dive into the cards that were revealed over the last couple of weeks. We're obviously not going to go over the demo deck stuff because that stuff has been known for months, and like you can easily find that information. So we are going to start off with the Trial Deck 1 cards. Do either of you want to introduce these cards?
I'll take the option of reading them. That's kind of what I did back in the day when I was doing Card of the Day.
All right.
So Lady Ballistra, Bloodlines Tormented. She's a 6-cost black creature, 5/5. When this creature destroys a creature in battle, you may choose an opposing creature with the same color as that creature and destroy it. And continuous with a black Dragocross, this creature must be blocked if able.
So this card is the ace thing for the cover card thing for the first trial deck, and it's pretty nice. It's a really nice control option. It's really versatile since you can do it as an attacker or as a defender. And one of the cards that we're going to get into later with BTO1 combos pretty nicely with it to allow you to really get rid of strong stuff. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, black blue cancer.
Yeah.
I had to say it.
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
Yeah. Is there anything else really to say about it?
Not necessarily, though. I think it is worth noting that it changes how the opponent attacks as long as you have this on your field.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
This is a high priority target. They have to get rid of this. Otherwise, their attacks are going to fringe. Their defense is going to be quite different. It's going to be really weird.
Yeah.
Screw monocolor.
All right, next card is Alluring Temptress. And I was going in order, by the way, of Card of the Day rather than...
Yeah.
That's why I have Alluring Temptress next. Is that right for you?
That's fine. That's fine. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, sure. Alluring Temptress is a 4-cost black creature. It has the Deadly keyword. Deadly is when this creature deals damage to a creature, destroy it. And as an auto, with the red Dragocross, when this creature destroys a creature in battle, draw a card. 3/3 is its stats.
Bren, do you want to go on this one?
Mainly, sure. I actually think she's not as good as it seems at first. She's good late game, but she's not as great early game, only particularly because you're not guaranteed to destroy a creature in battle when you attack with her. And if she's defending, you're wasting a red Dragocross when you could be using it as a Drago Shield early. So she's particularly alright late game when you have to go in for attacking anyways. But then you have to merit the warrant of how much of worth is that the card that you're going to draw, and you may not even get a turn to play it when you hit this. So it's good, but not to the point where I would auto include it.
The other thing with that red Drago Cross is that you're putting it on what's going to be a 4 endurance. So if you have a pyroblast, or one of your barriers ends up being a torch, and your opponent uses torch or some other removal to get rid of lowering temperatures because that isn't too high endurance, then you've lost you're putting your red Drago Cross at risk. You're putting that dice value at risk, and when it's red, that's not really something that you want to be doing.
Alternatively, what if red is the last fort to be defeated?
Fair.
That's what makes it really awkward.
Fair, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just not to the point where I would consider this an auto include. In fact, I might actually not even play this. All right, next card is Ravian. Oh, Scott?
I want to be honest. As long as we're in the first set of the game, I can still see lowering temperatures being at least an automatic 2 of because it does kill bosses. So, but other than that, I don't think it's that great.
But I don't really care about killing bosses as long as I'm able to rest them to kill them, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, if it wasn't for the fact that blockers have to rest, then I think Deadly would be a lot better. But I think Deadly is not as good because of that.
Yeah, fair.
Ravian Battlefield Shrieker. She's a 3-cost creature that's red with 3/3 as stats. She can be put into an ambush slot for 2 of any color, and when a creature at this fort is destroyed during your opponent's turn, if this card is an ambush, you may summon it, then deal 2 damage to all opposing creatures.
Boy, oh boy, this card. This card! Oh, this is...
It's not that good.
Yeah, it's still pretty scary. Considering...
It's decent, right? You can summon it, it's another blocker, effectively your opponent has to have 1 more creature.
Yeah.
But you kill 2, 2 damage to all opposing creatures. It's playable around, that's the thing.
Yeah, I do get that, but at the same time, its ability to threaten those weenies is real nice. The fact that if it's coming out, you've probably blocked something, so it's probably down to around 2 health for this to kill. The fact that it's damaging the whole board instead of a specific fort like Pyroblast does is also really nice. And when compared to what we thought was going to be what things were going to be like with Bloodsun Arachnid, and seeing this instead, it's really nice. It's a real nice card.
Of course. I do have one thing to say, though. I mean, the main reason why this is good right now, at least based on what we've seen, is that everything that has 2 cost or less has 2 endurance or less.
Yeah.
If we ever get a 2 endurance creature that's like 1/3, this might be in trouble.
Yeah. Actually, the other thing I wanted to mention is that it's also really nice because it's most of the red removal we've seen, except for Zarko, and Zarko is a monster. All of them have had to reference red dice to be able to do their thing. So if your red dice is taken out through some means before you're able to use those things, then you don't get your thing. So this is really nice in that and that it's not reliant on L. So when you roll 1 on your red die, this card's ability to do stuff isn't being damaged at all.
Agreed. One other thing to point out is that since it's based on being destroyed, a creature being destroyed, if they destroy your creatures via removal before they go into the attack phase, you can wipe their board before they even get to start attacking.
Yeah.
So that does put a point in favor of using this.
Yes.
After dealing 2 damage to all the opposing creatures, they also have to be more careful on attacking because their creatures are easier to kill afterwards.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is one of the ambushes I think I would be okay with putting on a fort that's already destroyed.
Yeah. All right, now we are on to Mystic Hunters. All right.
All right, so we're covering the boss monster of this trial deck, Remus Hunter Adept. He's a 6-cost green creature with 6/6 stats. Whenever he's blocked, draw a card, and it is a yellow Dragocross. When this creature deals damage to a fort, if you have 3 or less barriers, choose one of your forts and put the top card of your deck on that fort as its barrier.
So,
Effectively a heal.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about with this card because this is a really cool card. But before any of that, I really want to address how cool it is, how they're using their mechanics to implement dual colors in a different way from other color pie games.
Yeah, I think one of the things that drew me away from Kaijudo and Duel Masters in the first place was the fact that they had dual color cards, and that could be effectively dual color in your resource zone and dual color on the field. It really bothered me quite a bit, and this kind of split is really nice. The way I like, this is the kind of thing I would prefer.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we see actual dual color later down the line, but this is still a really cool integration of the game's unique mechanics, and there's a lot of this stuff even through these first few weeks of reveals. There's been a lot of really cool implementation of the unique mechanics of Dragoborne that make me really excited for this game.
What makes me excited about this card isn't about its abilities, actually, because I think this is the weakest boss monster of the 3. But regarding its wording, the wording is very precise and very strict. It's like Mike Elliott, really, the way he likes his wording. He likes it all concise, and you know what's being asked of the card. Because it says when this creature is blocked. It doesn't say when this creature is blocked by a creature or blocked by a whatever. It's just blocked, meaning that this works on a Drago shield. That if you attack into this, into a shield, and this blocks it, you still get to draw that card. It's particular, and I like that I like this for that.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really cool card too. Really nice pressure. It doesn't have the good control aspects that we're going to be seeing. We already saw in Velistra and will be seeing in Zarko, but it's still a really nice card.
It basically gives you some sort of late game in case, because this is the trial deck that's supposed to be the fast deck. Yeah. So in case you get up to this point, then you have at least a way to draw out of it because you've probably exhausted most of your resources. But typically, this is not a card. Unlike the other two, this is probably not a card that you rely on because you're trying to win the game quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Considering this seems to be a green-focused trial deck, I will be very surprised if we don't see any ramp in here. The only ramp card we've seen so far has been in the main set.
We'll cover it. We'll cover it.
Yeah, yeah. It will be covered, but yeah. It's also worth noting, I think, that like if you compare its stat line to the other two boss cards, it is for its cost, its stat line is the best one, and as part of a trade-off of not getting one of those great control abilities, so that is that's a thing.
I think the 6th attack is actually super important for this because it's probably meant to destroy dice on attack.
Yes.
On draw.
Yeah, so it can kill any dice.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's definitely really nice earlier on in the game.
Yeah. Though,
all right.
One last flaw that I do want to bring up with this is that, like, a 6-drop, you have to remember that a 6-drop in this game isn't going to be turn 6 drop. It's going to be, that's going to be like turn 3 or 4. So, one of the problems that does come up with its Dragocross is that it's not necessarily going to be online when you can first bring it out, because you probably won't have that few barriers at that point.
Against an aggressive deck, actually, it's entirely possible. I remember doing a test game with some of these cards against another experienced player, and by the time I played Remus, I had 2 barriers left.
Oh boy.
So this game is super aggressive and super fast, so this can do stuff on the turn it's played.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
if you go second, if on the first turn you kill a Drago Shield with Red Fang, you can actually play Remus on your second turn.
Yes, but I don't think you'd play those both effectively in the same deck if you're aiming for the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
think they have different roles.
Yeah.
All right, I think moving on. No, actually, no. I need to cover one more thing about this. Dealing damage to a fort doesn't work if there are no barriers on it. So if you're trying to get a free barrier by just attacking an empty fort, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I do need to mention that. All right, going straight to the promo, since that was the next card of the day. Merchant of Scrolls. It's a 2-cost blue creature, and when it attacks, you can discard a card and draw a card. Then, if you discarded the spell, and the creature is yellow Dragocrossed, draw a card. It's a 2/2 for 2, so that puts it at pretty much the same range as the vanillas from the demo deck. But this filtering ability is quite good,
Yeah.
and you don't ever need to the yellow Dragocross ability, ever,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Because this is not a game where you're going to play a lot of spells, I don't think.
And that filtering ability could actually work good if we ever get anything like Necromancy, returning undead cards to the field or whatever.
Yeah.
So that could work really well there.
Mm-hmm.
One thing worth noting, though, I think, is that with Varion now revealed, if you think your opponent's going to have that, then you can get quite some value out of trigger crossing this to get the extra card while also being able to dodge getting nuked by that, which, yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to really say about this. Yeah.
I'd actually argue it in the opposite, because usually you want to attack with your lower endurance creatures first into a fort anyways, and Ravian requires a creature to be destroyed.
Yeah.
2/2s usually don't kill anything,
Yeah.
so it's not going to do much on that end. So I don't see the need to Dragocross this, especially because you would need to discard a spell and have the yellow Dragocross in order to draw the extra card.
Yeah. We also need to see like more spells because we've been getting basically only creature reveals.
Yeah, and given how Torch is and how I never ever want to play it until I'm going for game, I'm not too much of a fan of the spells right now. I'm seeing this more of like you play 4 or 6 at most. At this point in time, anyways.
But we've seen like so few of them, so I think it's probably a bit too early to judge. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how they turn out.
All right, and then we move on to today's card of the day, which happens to be Kingslayer B. It's a 3-cost creature, and you can put it into an ambush slot for 2 of any color. When this fort is attacked, if this card is an ambush, you may summon this creature, choose an opposing creature, and rest it. Unlike other ambushes, it's a 3/2 instead of a 3/3.
Yeah, it has a lower stat line, but that effect is really nice. I remember me and Scott were talking the other day because we figured out that Bloodscent Arachnid is probably going to be one of the demo deck cards that was missing part of its effects because we know that they removed some effects for the demo deck, which I actually meant to bring that up for the last card because like you brought up the vanillas that we saw in the demo deck, but those might not even end up being vanillas. But regardless, we were speculating, and Scott was thinking that, hey, maybe it has the effect of when it comes into play, rest an opposing creature. And oops, hi, Kingslayer B.
So it actually might now be. Well, remember, this one is when the fort is attacked. The other one is when the fort is when a creature at the fort is destroyed.
Yeah.
So it could be that there's an additional thing to it still.
I still think there's definitely an additional thing to it since we've seen Varion as the same stat line, same condition. Like I can't see it not having an additional effect, but it's just a question of what it is. As for Kingslayer B, it's just really nice.
I think this belongs mainly in aggressive decks actually, and the thing to point out here is that it doesn't matter whether there's a Drago Shield or not. you attack the fort regardless. So if you still have a Drago Shield up, summon this and rest a creature that you really want to block, like block from defending. So if you have like 2 of these at all, and you manage to get them both out, you can make your opponent have 0 defenders for your final push.
Yeah. Yep.
So I really like the aggressive decks a lot. It's a little less useful in control, but it does work.
Yeah. Which definitely fits the description we've heard from Mystic Hunters, so, you know.
Yeah.
It's also nice against things like Lady, Ballistra, and Stoneskin Charger that must be blocked.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Ish.
Oh,
Hey,
hello.
our 4th member made it.
We made it. We are like,
sorry, internet problems.
We are like halfway through the cards. Introduce yourself, sir.
Oh yes, well my name is Joseph. I'm trying to be a competitive Drago player, and I just played with a trial deck recently. But I'm an avid card player. I love playing Magic and Weiss, and I played pretty much everything at least once, except for Buddy Fights and some of the older games. But otherwise, I love stuff.
All right.
So we just finished up on the Trial Deck 2 stuff, so we are moving on to Trial Deck 3 with the big boy.
Yes, the very first card of the day outside of the black and blue banners is Zarko Tavash, Board of Magma. 7-cost red creature with 6/6 stats. When it's summoned, you can choose one of your dice and change its value to 6. Then choose any number of opposing creatures and deal 6 damage divided as you choose among these creatures. When this creature is destroyed, and you have a red Drago Cross on it, choose any number of opposing creatures and deal 7 damage divided as you choose among those creatures.
What a freaking monster.
Yeah, that's a huge threat there.
It's like,
oh my goodness.
Dead, and dead.
Oh, that was a nice aggro you had going. It's dead.
Yep. Could you imagine if this was first summoned, this creature?
Oh my goodness.
But no, unfortunately, it's not. It's a really big guy, and he does something on play. This being the first card of the day, it made me think a lot towards Magic the Gathering and its mana cost power threshold, because it goes up exponentially once you reach the later costs. And this one seemed to be a lot more powerful than everything that we had known so far.
Yeah.
I think it was something similar to that. Obviously, now that we've seen a couple of cards, we can see that this power level is not as exponentially strong.
Especially now that we know that the demo deck cards weren't actually complete, complete forms. It all makes a lot more sense, but regardless.
Mm-hmm. Still, I think that this card is quite interesting, and the only reason you would use the red Drago Cross ability is if you're facing against a black deck and this is a defender.
Yeah. Yeah.
So other than that, it's literally just pop your defenders, go for game.
Also, of course, worth noting that this there is green in the Alpha Dominance Trial deck, so we might also see ramp in here. And you know, ramping into an early Zarko is.
I feel like they're going to add some mechanic where you can summon that card early.
Well, I
don't think so. I don't think so.
I'm already
I feel like it won't be specifically for that, but like any card. But I feel like there will be some mechanic where you can summon a big cost card early.
Well,
and I think this is one of the things that Mike Elliott touched on in his personal interview. He noted that there were Magic the Gathering things that he liked and things he didn't like. One of the things that he wanted to play around with, but he knew was dangerous, was free stuff or free mana or whatever, that sort of thing. So I'm pretty sure, given that, he's going to be really careful when it comes to cards like these.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more you introduce free mana or free resources in this game's case, the more the mana system doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is really nice. What was it? That ramp card, it's really nice that it's limited to lower resources.
Yes. But to be fair, as soon as it's offline, this is online.
True.
Yeah.
Watch green red be the true king.
Oh my.
Green red. Oh man, we're gonna have Judd
Probably
all over
green,
again.
probably green, red, blue. To be honest, let's talk about the next card.
Oh man. All right,
Oh.
next card.
Speaking of the
Albion
green,
Verdant Protector. A 3-cost creature that's green with 3/3 stats. When it's summoned, you can choose one of your barriers and move it to another fort. And when you put the blue Dragocross on this creature, choose 2 opposing dice and exchange their values.
I love that. The second ability is great, but just the first ability itself is amazing because you can basically like regain a fort. And now that you can exchange the dice, that can like save you, especially if they have like a 1 or a 6. You can swap that 6 over for the 1 and go and push.
This card is busted.
It is. Yeah, it's amazing.
Honestly, this is the best promo period so far, and
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be a card that beats it. Oh my goodness. As an aggressive player, it really makes me happy that I can just load all my barriers onto one fort and only have to defend one fort and have 4 guys attacking with no penalty effectively. As a defense, as a control player, it makes me happy that I can split my barriers into different forts, that I don't have to defend only one. I can defend multiple. It's really, really great.
Yeah.
here's your wall deck, Joel.
Yeah. I guess.
It's a 3-cost. Like, what?
Oh, I can play this on the first turn.
Oh my goodness! Like, this card is insane because, okay, you're going first. You play it, set up your 3 dice, move one of your barriers forward. Whatever. You don't get to attack. Second turn, you play another one. You now empty a fort. You can use Dragocross right away. Do whatever you want, depending on whatever's in your hand. As an aggressive player, this card scares me.
And like its dice exchange ability is of course not to be overlooked either. Like it basically forces your opponent to be able to deal with this, because like that's continual pressure. Every turn you can potentially Drago cross it and proc that ability. So
This card is the sole reason I'm going for the blue forts last. This card is the sole reason I'm doing that.
Yeah, you better have a torch in your hand or something.
Torch won't do anything because this stuff does it on play.
Yeah, but you want to deal with that as fast as
It will
possible.
get rid of the exchange pressure at the
Yeah,
very least.
but let's hope for some better fort bursts, or not better. Let's hope for some other fort bursts, because all we have is red right now.
I assume
We're
I
going to
assume
get
we'll
some more.
see some.
Yeah.
After we're done with the ambush card of the days for the child decks, I'm sure we're going to get some fort bursts for the child decks.
Yeah,
I'd love to see
I'm
those.
thinking they're gonna start revealing fort bursts.
I want to
after
see how the
ambush is
black
done.
fort bursts go. I feel like those would be something with like destroy a creature.
All right, we're moving on to BTO1 cards of the. They're not technically cards of the day because they weren't actually revealed as cards of the
Yeah,
day, but they were in the videos
Yeah, they were in the how to play
as like
videos.
surprise spoilers.
Yeah.
So the first card, Hidden Arts Waters Edge Shuriken. It's a 2-cost spell, blue spell technically, and all your creatures get assassin all creatures for this turn. AKA, these creatures may attack any opposing creature in rest, and this cannot be blocked by Drago Shields or creatures.
Or creatures. This is the card we were talking about earlier regarding the Lystra.
Blue black
Am I the only one
cancer.
that thinks this card isn't that good?
No,
It could be
I
good,
don't
but
disagree.
we have to see what else there is. Like we need some, other cards.
It needs something else. Right now, this
It-
card is
it's-
very lackluster to me because
Yeah,
I
right
don't
now
think it will
I
last
feel
as
it's
long.
lackluster. But if they add
It's
more like low
cost
cost,
enough to be usable, but for now it's kind of
I
yeah,
don't think I think this is too expensive, honestly. This is just not the kind of ability I want in a super aggressive game.
yeah. We need some like low cost cards if you're going to want to use that.
Yeah, like you want to really like. I think the only card that I would consider running right now is that 1/1 Goblin that like sack it to kill 3 damage off a dice.
Oh yeah, the one if it's destroyed, yeah, deal 3.
Yeah, so you attack directly into a deadly creature.
Yeah,
kill
that
itself
would
and
be
then
very good.
attack 3. But that's the only thing I can really think of right now, and
Yeah,
I think the reason that they costed it at 2 is because it's giving just everything the blanket assassin, and they don't want to like they want to keep the specific trait assassin abilities still valuable. I think maybe I don't know.
I guess it could be much more powerful later on. Maybe not like
Yeah.
BTO1, but BTO2 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all depends on how many low costs they add.
And that's one thing about this game. You never know when a card from like 5 sets ago is immediately going to become amazing in a lot of things.
Well,
Exactly.
that's any card game. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but more so mana games because
Sure.
you're not restricted to like a world or
Yeah.
attribute or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, let's take Buddy Fight for example, right? Thunder Empire, if they're not already playing Disguise in Your Hand, a card from the very first BTO1, they're going to be playing a ton of that, right? When the new set drops, and
Yeah.
similarly here, this card could be much more powerful later on. Just right now, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. But we also have a
Yep.
we have very little to go on. All things
Yeah,
considered.
we have very little. As as more cards are revealed, this card could actually go up. So I'll say it's a very optimistic card right now, but we don't know if it'll be good or bad.
Yeah. All right, and the final card that we have so far is Red Fang's Born Leader. It's a 3-cost green creature with 4/2 stats. When this creature's attack destroys a Drago Shield, if the number of cards in your resource zone is 6 or less, put the top card of your deck into your resource zone. Control player's dream.
Yeah. This is.
I have neutral thoughts about that. I don't know much. Like, how would you say if it's good or bad? So
Well, it is really unfortunate that it's only live early on, but at the same time, like my main way of thinking with this card is with the stuff that we have revealed so far, I'm going to be using it to ramp into a Zarko, and once it's offline, a Zarko is online. So I'm not really worried at that point.
To me, this card is a needler. There are sometimes those early games where you don't really want to attack past the Draco die, but you just want to needle the die so that you don't enable specific cards from being active. So this is a good needler, effectively, and only control decks really play needlers. So I would slot this into a control deck. I'm not sure if I would play this in an aggressive deck.
Yeah. Well, like at the same, like in that same token, in a control deck, you would be there with what we have so far. Zarko would be a big focus, and and this plays really well into a Zarko. So, yeah.
Though I will say against one of the opponents that I have here, over in British Columbia, this card will never get its ability off because he keeps rolling 5s and 6s.
oh dang!
Could always trigger cross it to hit the 5.
I'm still 3-0, so I'll take it.
But yeah, that is.
So these are all the cards of the day.
Yeah, that is
And
all the cards
some
that have
additional
been revealed over the course of these last few weeks. One of the things I was really worried about coming into this game is that Bushiroad, at least with Vanguard and Buddy Fight, has had this, and Luck and Logic, has had a bit of this curse with their first sets, where the first sets are very they're very boring. There isn't much variety between effects, and I was a bit worried that might end up happening with this game. And I'm so happy to see lots of variety, lots of cool uses of the game's unique mechanics, and we haven't even seen like half of the keywords that we know we're getting. So
yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Given how much control Bushiroad gave Mike Elliott, because Mike Elliott demanded or asked for it, it's a lot that Mike has brought over from his days in Wizards of the Coast and brought it to Bushiroad. In fact, if I can be a little frank here, this first couple of releases for Dragoborne is going to be a testing measure for whether or not this new type of system works. And if it does work, they're going to try and expand that system to Weiss, the Vanguard, the Buddy Fight, the Chaos, and other games. So it's something that I'm looking forward to on that development of the scale.
Well, that is going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this game. I just really hope that like I know it's not going to happen in this first tournament. It's something I really want to know is how the tournament structure is going to work. Whether well, we're probably going to be forced to decide.
I hope
Let's
it's
be
going to
honest.
be best 2 out of 3. I don't know. I just prefer that for this kind of game.
Considering the estimate, the projected length that they've said in places, which is pretty comparable to Buddy Fight's game length, then I am expecting that we'll get best 2 of 3 for this game.
It's looking to be something along the lines of like 45 minutes for a best of 3 round.
Yeah, which is about the
Yeah,
same.
that's like one Weiss round. I agree.
That's the same that Buddy Fight gets. So
Weiss gets 40, I thought, and 30 in Japanese.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's around that kind of time.
Yeah.
So tell me, how does a Weiss game only last 45 minutes? I tried the game and it took like an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh, believe me, experienced players, they know what cards are going to do and so on. If you're a new player, I understand. You're going to be like, oh, let me read this effect. And that adds up, stacks time.
Yeah, but also there's a lot of decisions that are to be made early if you're a newer player, and as someone who has played in Japan for Worlds, I can safely tell you that when you get up there, you definitely have to know what you're doing. I don't recall any heavy game losses for going overtime, so
yeah.
there's that.
With all that said, guys, if you want to be keeping up on stuff, look over the cards that I've been revealing and stuff on your own time. Go check out Dragoborne.com. Link will be in the description. Me and Scott are working on the site, and we're going to be bringing the features that we have over on Buddy Spoiler for those familiar over to this site. We have the main stuff up, but Quick View isn't quite there yet, and we'll have other stuff in the future. So look forward to that.
I'm already wishing we had color pages.
Yeah.
As for me and Clamix Phase, when the trial decks drop, I may switch from doing cards of the day to basically talking about the styles of play that you can find in trial decks and going over the breakdown of series and colors, because apparently the breakdown series for Weiss is going off pretty well, and I've actually started it in Buddy Fight as well, so I'll bring it over to Dragoborne.
Remember when I used to do that?
You okay, Brenton?
Sweat
You
drop.
okay there, buddy?
Oh, man alive. Man alive.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Oh, don't forget the Facebook group plug.
Yes, the Facebook group. I almost forgot. Dragoborne has a supported Facebook group too, so go check that out. We have about 700 members, I think 770 at this point.
We're nearing 800.
Yeah, we're getting close to 800 at this point.
Yeah, let's get 1,000. That'll be great.
Well, yeah, that'd be great. That would be great. So yeah.
Yeah.
See you guys later.